All right. One more circle here. Let's just go ahead and stand that up and we'll just roll our shoulders a little bit. Squeezing up to the ears, squeezing back, swinging through the front. A little faster, a little slower, whatever feels good. And then let's go ahead and step out to about hip width. Stretch up tall through the top of your head. We're going to keep the front of our body on, and then we're going to make circles in the air with our hips. So trying to keep your core on so that from your tailbone through the top of your head is all one solid line. We're just swiveling in the hip sockets. A little bit of pressure into those forward corners, squeezing your glutes, but we're continually trying to stretch up nice and tall. And go ahead, finish whatever circle you're on, and then start in on the other direction. Yes, yes, you're already doing fitness. Look at you. Look at you go. One more circle. Oh, and let's stand that up nice and tall. And we're going to do some forward crawl. We're going to really reach forward, and then we're going to sort of like low fives. Walk by low five somebody. Other side, reach way forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you finish your stroke, or walk by low five. Nice, looking good. I just want some movement of the shoulder blades forward and back before we get into our written warm-up, which we're gonna do together. I'm not gonna allow you the luxury of doing this at your own pace. We're gonna do it together. Go ahead, do that a few more on each side while I start the timer. This is just going to be used for a small part of it here. We're gonna do 10 slow-mo squats. Maybe do a couple quick butt kickers just to get your knees through a full range of motion a couple times. We're gonna do 3 rounds of this. The only part you can do a little bit faster, I mean, feel free to do what you need to do. If you go completely off the rails with me, no problem. Find a nice solid squat stance for yourself. We're gonna do 10 of these. 3 seconds down, so hips go back, knees press out slightly. 2, 1. We're gonna come right up for 3, 2, 1. So it's slowish. And let's do that again. 3, 2, 1, up, 3, 2, 1. I'm not gonna keep counting this whole time. I'm just gonna keep to that pace. I want you to think about maybe varying your squat stance a little bit. So if you have a little bit of trouble with a wider stance, maybe you gradually take your feet out a little bit wider right now, and also in the next couple rounds as we do this. We're just trying to find a really solid feeling squat bottom, and then sort of challenge that a little bit. If you struggle with a narrower squat, maybe you're walking your feet together throughout this. We're just taking our time in the middle and finding a new bottom every time. I'm sort of counting, so I think this is our last one here. Yes, yes. And then we're gonna take it to the floor for some glute bridges. 15 glute bridges. Draw your heels into your hips. Get tight through the front of your body first and squeeze up. These, if you wanted to go faster than me, great. We're all gonna meet in a plank on elbows after we do 15 of these. So if you wanna start your plank early, go for it. Nice, looking good. Going for a big squeeze, and we're also going for tight through the front of the body throughout. Avoid arching that low back up at all, almost like you're leading with the tailbone. All right, we're gonna flip that over, if you haven't already, into a plank on elbows. If your first plank of the day, you want that to be on your knees and elbows, great. We're here for 20, starting now. Breathing. If 20 seconds of plank is not gonna work for you right now, you can press back into a little child's pose for a break, and then come back to it. Elbows are actually driving down into the floor, spreading your shoulder blades apart. Tailbone is tucking up towards your chin. Oh, hey, there's 20. Let's go ahead and get back up. did it. We're back up. Let's do it again. Starting stance for your squats. Here we go. 3, 2, 1 down. 3, 2, 1 back up. We'll just keep that pace. Follow along with me visually if you want to. If you end up working at a different pace and doing a different number in the time that we do here, that's also fine. I have a little bit more trouble with that wider stance, so I'm going to get my feet a little bit wider here at the beginning, and also just a little bit wider maybe on every progressive squat. It's a good hip opening sort of situation for me. Maybe you turn your toes out like a lot on your squats. Maybe you want to just walk those toes a little bit closer to forward. I'm not trying to tell you that feet forward is the only way to squat. I'm just saying that could be a place where you want to be able to access a range of motion that you currently do not. Here we go, last one. Nice. And we're gonna make it our way back down to the floor. Take it to the floor. Heels in. Front of the body tight. Pressing the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Big squeeze at the top. Staying nice and squeezed in around your low back with your core throughout. Trying to hit a nice squeeze at the top of each of these, maybe holding for just a beat. Again, if you end up doing a different number, no problem. That's 15 for me, and we're gonna get set up for our elbow plank. Maybe you're ready for plank on toes. Maybe you're sticking with that plank on knees. Ready, go. Still shoulders pressing down into the floor, neck long, nice long line, tailbone out through the top of the head, navel drawn up, or at least that feeling like the center of your body is hugging in around your spine. 2, 1, all right, round 3. Stand it on up. We're gonna get into those 3 and 3 squats. Maybe you're going narrow this time because that's where you wanna work on. 3, 2, 1, back up. 3, 2, 1. I'll count one more of those. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. All right, 8 more to go. Nice and slow again. If you get sort of lost in your own rhythm, great. I'll tell you when we're switching. My squat already feels so much better than it did 3 minutes ago. Nice, 2 to go. Nice, looking good, everybody. Nice, seeing some good depth, really good control through the middle of these. Nice, Todd, way to challenge yourself on that narrow stance. All right, there we are, flipping it over here. For those glute bridges, 15. Tight through the front, squeezing your glutes at the top. Twelve, 13, 14, big squeeze. 15, and we're gonna get flipped over into that elbow plank. Last time here. Ready, steady, go. Butt tight, front tight, stretch long. Get tight around your spine, and then breathe into that tightness that you are creating without releasing it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I'm going to do a quick demonstration of our next movements. You're going to want something a little bit extra padded. If it's your yoga mat rolled up a little bit, great. If it's like a pillow or something else, also great. And weights are optional here. The first movement we're going to play around with is the kneeling squat. So this is the start position for my kneeling squat. And then this is probably going to feel tweaky on my knees, but I'm going to do it here unweighted. There, I'm in the bottom position of my kneeling squat. So I'm just coming here to here, trying to keep my tailbone out through the top of my head, lengthened and vertical the whole time. So I'm not trying to get down like this really. I'm just trying to lower my tailbone straight down to my heels, back up. If it feels better to have your toes tucked under, great, you can be there. It's going to shorten your range of motion a little bit, but it might not induce shooting pain over the top of your ankle. So if you do want to do weighted, you're going to do essentially like a goblet hold or front rack kind of a hold. Bam, those are looking great. Good job, everyone, just practicing without being told to practice. Next, we're going to do frog pumps. It's kind of like that glute bridge, except we're starting with the bottoms of our feet squeezed together and heels squeezed in towards the hips. So from here, I'm pushing up and coming back down. Still getting tight through the front of the body first. So just drawing your heels in towards your hips, you may feel that pulls your low back off the floor. We want to counteract that by getting tight through the front of the body first so that our tailbone is kind of the first thing that comes off the floor versus allowing that low back to be arched and then trying to reach up with that low back arched. We want to press the low back down towards the floor and then squeeze up through the hips. Again, you can do this weighted with the weight just sitting on the hips. Boom. All right. Good. Those are looking good. Soles of the feet drawn together. Heels drawn in. We're going to stay low here, and we're going to get into side lying straight leg raise. So we're going to get really laid out, really stretch long. That back, my lower leg is bent 90 degrees at the knee, and my arm is sort of supporting my head here. You can kind of do whatever you want. We just want to be nice and relaxed. Then I'm going to tip my hips forward so that top hip comes forward like a degree or two. And I'm going to touch the floor with my big toe. And then I'm actually going to squeeze my heel up and back just like an inch. So that will limit your range of motion, but that's good. We're aiming for activation through this glute medius sort of upper outside butt corner. So it shouldn't be possible for you to go like this. If you do that, you will have to drive your hips back and you'll engage like all hip flexor and tensor fasciae lata. So we want the hips to actually be forward a little bit, and we want that heel to be back just slightly from the line of the body. So if you bring your foot forward a little bit, you start engaging the front of the hip. If you lean your hip back a little bit, you can start engaging the front of the hip. So top hip forward, heel squeezes back just slightly. Those are looking really good. Again, if your range of motion starts to get really a lot higher, you might notice you're not feeling that squeeze in the back corner of the hip anymore. You'll need to adjust accordingly, and let's just do a few on the other side. Just making sure we know how it feels on both sides. If you want to post your hand out front to sort of help almost support yourself in that slightly leaned forward position, great. If it feels better to do something else with that hand, also great. Top hip slightly forward, squeezing the heel slightly back. Nice, nice, nice. Those are looking great. And then we're coming up for alternating lunges. So let's just do some long stance here, warming up that back toe a little bit. Just wiggle around in your lunge stance. Maybe get low in your lunge once or twice. We're offering alternating lunges. So you can do a step back lunge, you can do a step forward lunge, whatever you want. You can touch the floor with your knee, or you don't have to. Nice, those are looking great. So these are going to be 30 seconds each. Let me get my timer set up here. 30 seconds each, and then we'll take a minute rest in between the rounds. So this is going to be a lot of work. Any questions on any of this? So the first round, maybe we'll say first round, well, we'll see how the time goes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we're gonna begin. First round, maybe you don't add weights, maybe you just focus on continuing to sort of get these movements feeling right. We're gonna start with that kneeling squat. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and tight. Lowering the tailbone to the heels, squeezing up. Make adjustments so that this feels right. You may need more padding on your next round. You may choose to tuck your toes under if that feels better. If this starts to feel real tweaky on your knees, you could just do a narrow stance squat as well. Getting into those frog pumps in 2, 1. Fast transitions here, drawing the heels into the hips, front of the body tight, squeezing the tailbone towards the ceiling. Nice, looking good. Good range of motion. Remember, we're trying to unarch the low back, so even slightly rounding the low back if possible by being tight through the front of the body. Getting into our first sideline leg raise in 3, 2, 1. Start with whatever side feels natural to go to first. Top hip slightly forward, squeezing slightly back. Core has to be on here as well. And flipping to the other side in 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to come up for those alternating lunges. And then we'll break. Coming up in 3, 2, 1. As quickly as you can, getting into some alternating lunges. If you want to kind of watch the clock and do split squat for half on one side, half on the other, great. I think this is just kind of a, let's do some lunges to make sure our lunges are warmed up for the Metcon, as well as sort of keep our bodies warm and work on our range of motion stuff right here. 3, 2, 1, little break. All right, we're gonna take 1 minute, grab a little drink. We might shorten this rest to 30 seconds in the upcoming rounds. As written with a full 1 minute break, this is a long time to do this work. And I wanna make sure we have plenty of time for us to finish before the next class. We still have 30 seconds. Any questions? You guys are looking good. Excellent. Turn your music up if you want to, whatever. Grab your weights as you need. Round 2, coming up in 10. Going in 3, 2, 1, go for it. Center of the body, nice and strong. I've of course done a movement like this before, but I will admit to never having done a weighted intentional version of this movement. It's interesting. Going to frog pumps in 3, 2, 1. Quick transitions if you can. More time in between, anytime you need. Front of the body stays nice and strong. Nice Todd, good range of motion, good squeeze at the top. Same Kara, nice squeeze at the top. That's where the work is. First leg raise in 2, 1, get into that first side as quickly as you can, spending some time squeezed at the top. Nice, Nick, good pace. Nice length. Nice, Emily, looking good. And other side in 3, 2, 1, right into it if you can. Again, top hip slightly forward, squeezing the heel slightly back. Always trying to avoid extending through the low back. And then we're gonna get up for kind of the odd duck movement here of alternating lunges in 3, 2, 1. Right into it if you can. Nice, good transitions, everyone, fast. Nice, Beth, looking good. Nice, Aaron, nice steps, good pace. And 3, 2, 1. Nice. We're just going to rest 30 seconds here. Just give you a little moment to reset. Then we'll go into round 3. I just caught myself seeing my own image as I was grabbing my water bottle, and I'm like, who's that guy? I'm like a parakeet in the mirror suddenly. Who does that guy think he is? All right. Let's go. Kneeling squats. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Good holds on those weights for those of you choosing that option. Looking good. Elbows in nice and tight to the body. Weight up by the chin. Frog pumps coming up in 3, 2, 1. Frog pumps. Like NASCAR in those transitions. Front of the body nice and strong. Lead with the hips. You can have the feeling of pressing your knees down towards the floor. That feels different. Leg raise in 3, 2, 1. First side. Trying to keep the front of the body on almost the whole time through here in that slight brace, protecting our low back from that extended position. A little bit more time in that squeeze at the top. It's going to give you a little bit more bang for your buck here. 3, 2, 1. Other side. Nice, beautiful, everyone. That range of motion is staying nice and low. I'm guessing you're feeling that slight burning sensation creep into that corner of the butt. 3, 2, alternating lunges. 1. Nice, good transitions. Nice, Beth. Nice, Nick, looking good. And those lunges. Nice, Emily, same, good pace. Good control, looking strong. Oh yeah, if you want to add a weight to your lunges, you should feel free. I mean, it's right there. 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Hey, 3 down, 2 to go. It's not so bad. We got time. We got time. Say one of my weaknesses as an instructor is deviating from the written workout. I know maybe that's hard to believe because I seem so fun and freewheeling, but like making spontaneous changes. Not my strong suit. 3, 2, kneeling squats, go. Beautiful. Nice, yeah. Slower or faster on these as you like. Slower in that negative is going to feel pretty different. It's going to kind of force you to use your quads in a different way. Frog pumps in 3, 2, 1. In it. You are a frog. Ooh, Charlie horse. Ah, not enough salt in my salted caramel latte this morning. Leg raise in 3, 2, 1, right into it. Stay in that squeeze for a beat. Nice. Nice, Kira. Good pause at the top. Good position. Other side in 3, 2, 1. Get it. Easy to let that leg creep forward. Easy to let that top hip creep back. Stay vigilant, my friends. Nice, Emily. Good foot angle. I can see it. Nice, Todd. Good pace. Nice controlled pace throughout this whole workout, Todd. Same, Aaron. Alternating lunges in 3, 2, 1. Lunges. I've heard a barbell handle or a dumbbell handle makes an effective barrier. So I'm holding mine up like this. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Hey, last round. This is going great. This is going great. Everyone's looking good. Crystal, I can only assume you're just smashing it behind your invisibility, but I trust you are doing amazing work back there. 5th and final round coming up right about now. We're going in 4, 3, 2, 1. Gotcha, Crystal. Yes. It's important. I guess it's important that you can see us and not have your whole thing crash. Nice, everyone. Again, working that slow negative, that feels fun. Frog pumps in 3, 2, 1, into them. Leg raise in 3, 2, 1. First side. This is it for this side. Leg raise. If you want a little bonus challenge, just pulse it out at the top. See what that feels like. You can really feel yourself squeezing into that back corner. You can feel the burn creep in. Front of the body stays on. Keep your low back supported. Other side in 3, 2, 1. Quickly if you can. Again, pulse if that feels good or like a good challenge. Nice, everyone. Looking good. Big squeeze. Lunges in 3, 2, 1. Up for those lunges. Nice. Nice work, everybody. Nice, Aaron, looking good. Finish strong here. 3, 2, 1. Break. Yes. Small muscles worked. Some big muscles worked. We've got an 11-minute AMRAP. Grab a drink. Prepare yourself for a dramatic shift in the feeling of this workout. We are going to be doing 20 alternating snatches, 20 mountain climbers, and 20 walking lunges. So for your alternating snatches, there's a couple ways to do this. You could just not alternate. You could go 10 and 10. Sometimes getting all the way down to the floor to do your switch at the floor, especially with a dumbbell, is challenging. With a kettlebell, it's a little bit easier. And you can do a kettlebell snatch where you're setting it down and you're doing more of a straight pull versus a swing variation. Doing a kettlebell snatch, swing, switch, swing, that's going to be a lot of swinging in between there. If that's what you like, great. Otherwise, we're going for more of a straight up and down pull. So if you can get to the floor with your back neutral, then that weight is coming up. We're going for full extension through here, and that weight should just float by the face to that overhead. So keep the weight close, catch with the legs, all the way down to the floor, other arm, all leg, blasting that weight up. If you have your kettlebell, you're gonna have to do that little punch through to avoid a big swing and crash. So yes, practice a few of those, looking good.
Do you have a variation for, we can't fully extend because of the height?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so you guys could do, it's kind of up to you what you want to focus on. You could do alternating like high pulls. That's going to be like 98% of the work because you're going for that like full, this position. Once you're here in the snatch, everything else should be fairly effortless. So if you can hit a high pull, switch, high pull, switch, high pull, that's great. And if you have a heavy enough weight to make that a challenge, either way, doing like, 20 of that kind of movement is going to get taxing no matter what. That's what I would suggest. If you were more interested in hitting some overhead, you could do like some kneeling strict press or something. That'd be another option. That would be a kind of completely different focus. So does that work for you guys? Jazz hands-ish? Yeah, okay. All right, then we've got 20 mountain climbers. You can do these standing. It's just gonna look like this. Count each side, so that'll be 1, 2. You can do these elevated. So from a plank elevated, 1, 2, 3. And of course you can do any variation on the floor. You can even do these on your knees and it just becomes more of like a toe tap than like driving that knee straight up. Well, you sort of can do that. Okay. And then we're gonna do 20 walking lunges. If you wanna hold weights for these, great. Most of us aren't gonna have a lot of room to walk. So again, it just becomes that alternating lunge, either stepping forward or stepping back as you like. If you do have enough room to make a little parade, maybe 10 one direction, 10 the other direction. 11 minutes. Questions?
What are the numbers again?
20, 20, 20. So 20 alternating snatches, so that's 10 each arm. 20 mountain climbers, so that's each knee coming up counts as 1. And then walking lunges, each side counts as 1. Crank your music. I'm not going to talk too much for a change. I'll maybe talk through the first round just to give you those numbers and movements again. 11 minutes counting down in 10. 20 alternating snatches. Remember that weight stays close to the body. Ready to go. Big pull with the legs. A wide stance with these is usually going to help you get to the floor a little bit easier. Nice. If it is hard for you to get to the floor, you can always do a little pass in the middle and a hang variation. Pass in the middle, hang variation. That works too. Getting into our mountain climbers, again, standing for 20. Any sort of plank. You can march these out. You can sprint them out. A march is going to take longer and be more core work. A sprint is going to just rush by. And you're going to feel like, oh, I'm already into my lunges. Hey, great. Alternating lunges or walking lunges, whatever you have room for. Try to keep track of your rounds. Nice looking good, everyone. Rinse and repeat. Nice, looking good here, everyone. Yeah, nice. Nice, Beth. That pass on the way down is looking good. Do what works for you. Nice, 10 on one side, 10 on the other. Still great exercise. Nice, Nick. Nice switch on the floor, looking good. Good power, good speed. Nice, Emily. Same. Way to keep it working in that high pull. Woo. Nice, everybody, looking good. Good use of your space. Todd, you got a good obstacle course going for you. Lunging obstacle courses out there. Woo. Holy cow, everybody. Five and a half down, 6.5 to go. Fast and furious here. Spicy. Spicy. Halfway right now. Yes, that was 5.5 down, 5.5 to go. Nice. Nice, Kira. Nice speed on those snatches. Nice work, everybody. Way to stay in it. Good challenges all around. Nice, Aaron. Good pace. Good depth on those lunges. Nice breath. Good cycling of those snatches. Nice, Emily. Nice strong high pulls and fast too. Four minutes remaining. We're into the bitter end here. You got it, Todd. Everything just kind of feels like a break from these snatches. Oh. 2.5 here to go. What is left in the tank? Less than a quarter of the time. Yes, that's right. Staying in it. Short breaks when you need. Quality of movement is important. Yes. Nice, Nick. Way to use your space. Crystal, you're doing great. Keep it moving. Less than 2 minutes. If you got a lot to give, you might pick up a little urgency to your transitions and movements. If you are at the end of your rope, you might slow it down a little bit. Refocus. 90 seconds. than a minute. Whew. 10 seconds. What you got here? Finish strong. Done. You're done. Ah, yes, 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 yes. Oh, collapsing. Enjoy. Beautifully done. If you counted, you can put your rounds and reps in the thinger. I know it's called a chat. I got there. Oh. If you need to get going immediately, please feel free to unmute yourself and sign off. If you want to stick around for a very brief mobility moment, please do so.
Bye, gotta go. Emily, so cute. What a joyful way to start Friday with your little kiddo. Hi. Bye.
Back here.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, continue to unmute yourself and sign off. If you have a wall that you can do some legs up the wall, mobility stuff, just start that now. I'm just going to show you this figure for the legs up the wall, and then I'll have to close the meeting to start the next class. So if we start just legs up the wall, I'm going to give myself 6 to 12 inches from my butt to the wall for reasons that will become apparent. I'm going to cross ankle just below the knee here. I'm going to drag that upper foot down the wall so that my shin is parallel to the floor. This has the effect of sort of levering my tailbone up off the floor. So once I'm here, my tailbone has been levered just a little bit off the floor. I'm going to take a deep breath into my hips. And then as I exhale, I'm going to actually actively drive that tailbone back down towards the floor. Put a little pressure on that inside knee. And do that again. Just release a little bit, deep breath into the hips. Exhale, driving the tailbone back down towards the floor. Ah, yes. And once I touch the floor with my tailbone, I'm going to unlock and scooch my hips just like an inch more closer to the wall. It's probably all I need. If getting your shin parallel to the floor brings your hips like way up, you're probably a little too close to the wall. You want to actually scooch back away from the wall just a little bit. You might think about that, Nick, for yourself. Yeah, you want that tailbone to be just like hovering an inch above the floor. And deep breath into the hips. Long, slow exhale, driving the tailbone back down towards the floor. You shouldn't have to work very hard at this to get a nice stretch through that glute medius, glutes, and glute minimus, and there's probably other things in there. That is all I have time for. I'm going to just do it once on my other side to sort of balance myself out. But if you had, time to do maybe 5 breath cycles on one side, 5 breath cycles on the other, that would be a great way to finish the workout. Again, feel free